Hello, this is David Brown of Dalton State Seattle, and I want to show you today about the options you have as an instructor for providing feedback to quizzes with written responses. And I'm going to be talking about the written instructions. My favorite ones are this page, and I'll show you the URL. This is a college who has a very similar system than we do. It's Portland Community College, and these instructions are on the Instructional Technology for New Faculty Library Guide, and they're really good. So it's a system just like ours, but I'm also going to be showing in our system with my class I had last fall how to do instructor feedback after a student submits their answer for an essay type question. So I'm going to go to my quizzes, of course, and though this would be assuming you are doing a quiz. For essays, you can also do an assignment where you could use Turnitin to check for plagiarism. But for like a final exam situation, usually people use quizzes for these short essays, and it's actually called written response. So here is one. So I'll show you the quiz itself that I've created. So in this quiz, I have 2 written responses and 3 multiple choices. And the multiple choice ones are a little more straightforward. They're going to be one of 4 answers. And you could add feedback, but I'm going to talk more about the written response here. So this question is going to be a written response. So let's say you want to have some feedback. Well, and this is a basic feedback. Of course, yours would be more precise than this. So you could add something here under overall feedback. Now the big thing you need to know here is when do they get that feedback? So, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So let me go over that again. To add the feedback, you click here and click Save. So, so they would get that feedback after they submit, but you can control when they get the feedback under Evaluation and Feedback over here. So if you click that, and then you click Customize Quiz Results, and by the way, the instructions I mentioned, these instructions from Portland Community College, they go over this information. So, but you would click Customize Quiz Results Displays, and you have 2 views. You can do an additional view or edit the default view. So the default view basically says Customize Quiz Results. So your quiz has been submitted successfully, and what would they get to see? I'm going to say all questions, and you can show the correct answers. Now, I had multiple choice questions too, so let's go ahead and click that. Show the learner's response and show the learner's grade. So that's not a whole lot though. So what you can also do is do an additional view with more options. So I'm going to click Additional View. And this additional view gives me a date. So this would be a case if you wanted to delay them seeing your feedback. So you could make this any date you wanted. And of course the reason you'd want to do that, you may not want the right answers. You may not want your feedback to get out yet. And then this would be a message that you would have to go along with this that you want them to see. And this would be, say, all questions. And in this case, you have the option now to which to select. So the question is, you're talking about feedback. So you could have a message here, but you could also have where you're showing them the correct answers, what they should have made. Now, multiple choice, that would make sense, but for what about the feedback we talked about for written answers? This view gives you the option that that will display too, but this is where you would edit when they can see that. So so let's go ahead and see what would happen if I took this quiz. Now you can preview these quizzes, and it has the instructions, and the Start Quiz button is down here, right there. So this is, I'm just going to put some fake answers here real quick. Guess some of these, just anything. And then click Submit. And you can control this, by the way. I usually don't have that option there. And then now it says your quiz has been submitted successfully. And I changed the feedback, so I added the feedback. So let's see what this says. I've submitted this. I'm pretending I'm a student. So it says view question feedback. And these were feedback for the multiple choice questions. So you might be wondering, what about the other ones? The questions that were not multiple choice, that were written response. That feedback would happen after you look at it, because they have there's no feedback to get for a written response until the instructor looks at it. So in that case, you as an instructor would go in and look at it, and let's see, there are a couple of ways to look at this. You would go in and grade that, and this is actually a real course I had. So you would go into their attempt and grade it, and then they would see it. Now you could overcome that default and put a message in there so they get it immediately. But if you get written response feedback immediately, you have to worry about people sharing information. So that's a little bit about these options and for feedback on written response questions.